Hello, good evening, my LinkedIn family. If you are watching us in this part of the world, or if you are watching us towards the east, very good morning to you all. Uh, 11th episode of our Reinventing Your Careers in Canada, the show that I and my friend Brent Edwards bring to you every next Thursday. And the objective of this show is to help you understand what are some of the things that you should be looking at to ease your struggle in Canada. I won't call it struggle, but this is the word that people use. So, and today we have a very special guest. Every time we have a special guest. So this guest is very unique, and we will hear about her journey in this great country to this great country and how she pivoted into a new career and something that she's been doing passionately. So here you go. I'm just inviting Brent. Hey, Brent.
Hi, Matt. How's it
How
going
are you?
today?
Fantastic. So 11th program.
11th show.
Yeah,
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going good. And we're now getting like more people and getting interested into coming to our show, and there is a much bigger audience at times, and usually a couple of thousand people watch this show over the period of time, which is
Wow.
good.
It's quite amazing. I know we're talking in our green room with Samia, and I think she's got quite the following. So
Oh, yes,
I'm sure some of those people are tuning in today, but it's well, and also the topic around job search and ATS and job interviews, and that is a really keen interest of a lot of our audience. So I know that she's going to be a really great guest
yes,
and provide a lot of value to them. I'm going to have to jump off around
yeah. So
7, but I know you
yeah,
can.
you have another meeting at
You
7.
have another
So
meeting to go to, but I know you can steer the ship
yeah,
after
yeah.
I leave. So
Yeah, so let's bring Samia so that we get the best benefit of your presence also because your questions are just phenomenal. I'll just like swap it a little bit. So here you go. All right,
Thank you.
Samia,
perfect.
thank you very much for joining in, sparing time at 6:30 p.m. in such a beautiful day, sunny and warm.
Right.
This is the barbecue time for most of us in this part of the world. And
Yes, absolutely.
yeah,
Thank you
so
so much for having me here, Madhai and Brent. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here with you guys. It's like a success story coming true, my dream coming true. Sitting here with you guys and
you have
telling
been
about
very
my
active.
experience about Canada.
You're a success story yourself, and as I was saying, the one of the objectives and when we started this show, Brent and myself, we thought, okay, we should do something which is not what people are doing on community TV and other channels that are going on. So, we agreed that we will not talk about mortgages, we will not talk about where to buy houses, we will not talk about where to get your insurance from. We will actually talk about real issues and how immigrants have pivoted and got themselves settled in the Canadian job market and business environment also, because Brent specializes in business networking, and this is what his focus has been. So an 11th program, so 11, it's like 22 weeks. It's quite an amazing thing, Brent, and hopefully will continue as we go along the journey. And so because Brent has to leave in about 20-25 minutes for his another commitment he has, I will actually start with Brent. Let the show begin.
Okay, sounds good. So Samia, so again, welcome, and so great to have you on board.
Thank you
I
so
want
much.
to learn a little bit about, I guess, your background, your journey to Canada. My understanding is that you trained as a physician, and I wonder if you could tell us a bit about that experience, and then your journey to Canada, and kind of where. Because now I know that you're doing career consulting, which is, of course, a really big focus and need for our audience, but maybe you just outline your journey a bit for us, and we can understand some of the opportunities you've capitalized on, and maybe some of the challenges that you've faced.
Yes. Thank you so much, first of all. So, it's my journey is quite interesting. It goes back many, many years. I got formally educated to be a physician from Pakistan. That's where I was born and raised. So after getting married, we decided to move to Middle East. We went to Saudi Arabia, me and my husband. I started working with Ministry of Health there. We spent quite some time there for 5 years. And then it's so interesting. One day I was sitting in my healthcare unit, and there were hardly any nurses around me who could speak in English, right? So I was feeling so depressed. I called my husband right away. I said, I don't want to be here. I need to go somewhere where, we can find more people to talk in our language. And okay, English is the language. We need to talk in that as well, speak in that. But that was the main thing. And like interestingly, me and my husband, before we were like we got married and we were students, we always had this dream to coming to Canada. My husband actually tried a couple of times to actually move here for his studies and all, but that thing never happened for some reasons. So when we got married and we had this joint dream of coming to Canada, we started trying for immigration
Why,
right
why
away.
can why Canada of all places?
Yes, something I visited US as well. I never liked it there. I spent some time there. Canada, I never visited, only once from US, and I visited the Niagara Falls, and I fell in love. So I got my dream. I was like, okay, this is the place to be. I need to be here. And my husband Rizwan, he had the same dream. So 1 year after our marriage, and we applied to immigrate to Canada, and within 1.5 years, we landed here in Canada.
Wow.
So I knew I did some research. I knew working as a physician could be time consuming. It needs lots of effort, studies, and obviously money to spend. And we had our son at that time, 1 year old. So I had my commitment. I didn't want to leave him with somebody else.
Right.
So we had this commitment. We decided, okay, I'll stay with my son. I will bring him up, and I would let my husband progress in his field of interest. So that's how
Sure.
we started. We actually didn't have any guidance at that point, but we kept on meeting different people, amazing people who helped us throughout the journey, and we kept on evolving and learning about culture and how
Hmm.
Canada is. And um, so yeah, this is how it is. But if I go back in time, I would change some things about before we come to Canada.
What would
So
you change?
that's what I advise people. Don't land
Sure.
here blindly. Don't just be too happy. Okay, your immigration, you got your visa stamped, and you
Yes.
pack your bags and land here. No. If you're doing already, living a very luxurious life. I was living a very luxurious life in Middle East, right, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So it's a transition. It's a new country. It's a new place. It's a living standard. It's totally changed. Living style is changed. Um, and even your profession, the roles you are
Yes.
doing there, they're very changed here. The titles are changed, even though the job, the skills, they're the same. But to digest the fact that your role is no more with you, that designation, that's
Yes.
quite hard. So before landing here, I would say, do some research, prepare yourself, look into the job market, look into the
Yes.
living culture, and then, come here prepared, and then it's worth it. Otherwise,
So,
you will spend the best time of your
mhm.
life, struggling. That's the
Yes.
mindset most of the immigrants have. It's not worth it. You will end up, hating your decision. God
Wow.
forbid at one point.
Well, um, it sounds like you gave up a lot in order to come here. So it must have been a difficult decision to leave. And even though both of your husband and you had the dream of coming to Canada, it was still sounds like you definitely took a chance, took a leap, or took a risk to come to the country and start all over again.
Yeah. Yeah, we needed to give up something. First of all, my profession. I was a very passionate doctor in my field. I
Yeah.
knew it would be hard for me to, because it's a regulated profession. I need to get a license and everything. But we had other vision in front of us. Our kid, our family, their future, better
Hmm.
education, better living standard.
Hmm.
So we gave up something, but we received a lot more in return. So
Wow,
never regret a moment.
that's amazing. So since you've gotten here, you mentioned at the beginning that you had your young son. You decided that you were going to uh, spend be with him. Your son, your husband was going to continue his career. So, what point did you decide to, start your own business around consulting, or were there some steps before that you considered?
Yeah. So it's before that, I was actually in the education field. I was working. So the first day, my daughter, I have two kids, so my daughter is the younger one. So the first day she went to school was the first day of my volunteering with the school board.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's how I started volunteering, and then they offered me a position when it was opened, and
Yes.
then that's how I started. And at some point, then I realized I need to do something where I am passionate about, and I can progress. So I started looking into this HR, this resume interview, and career advice, and it's so much aligned with my passion most of all.
Hmm.
So I decided to go ahead. It made logic to me. It made sense. So that's why I'm here.
Did, did,
And
Go ahead.
yeah, and another thing is that when I'm able to help people, who are struggling in their field to get, they're qualified, they have all the amazing skills and everything, but they're struggling. And if I'm able to help somebody, that gives me immense satisfaction. And that's another reason for doing that.
Have you
Yeah.
found that there's a certain stage in people's career of people that you're most able to help? Is it people who are mid-career, just starting out? We're kind of who's your, put my marketing hat on, but who's kind of your target market
It's
that you're helping?
this job search is a process. You need guidance, you need help at every point in your career. It's not that you're just started and you need to make a plan and you need some advice on how to get started.
Mhm.
Even when you are working, you're in the mid career, or you're progressing, still you need help with an advice on how to progress, how to advance in your careers. It does not stop at one point in your career path and you are done. No, because the the job market, it's evolving every day, and you
Mm,
need to keep yourself up with the evolving job market, your skills, your upgrade. Sometimes you need to, you are kind of stuck in a job, I would say, where you're not progressing. So that's the time you need to look into some different options. So it's not limited to only one point in your career. It's an ongoing updating your or upgrading your skills, and it's ongoing career advice. You need to take it, otherwise you are stuck. And if you don't know, I would suggest you ask. And it does not depend on if you have 10 years of experience or 20 years of experience. You can use good advice at any point in your career. That's what
absolutely.
I, yeah.
Yeah, it's the willingness to ask for help is really important. Go ahead,
Absolutely.
Hamad.
So, just kind of building on to what Brent asked is, uh, a number of immigrants who come here, they come here in their 40s. Now that more and more are coming in their like 30s, but usually in their 40s, and they usually find it difficult to kind of their first stepping stone is a difficult thing to find really in the job market, and they often opt to go for what we call quote unquote survival jobs. And there's nothing wrong with it, of course. If you need to make money, you make money by working. uh, but what do you suggest to these people who are a bit in their age, like 40s? um, what are some of the things they should really be focusing at in the job market, so that they don't really need to get into survival jobs and they are more into getting into proper job stream?
I lost you in between for your question, but I will try to answer. I don't know if it's my side or that's the internet
I
having
I
problem.
don't know. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Maybe I can.
Yes,
So I think,
you're
yeah,
lagging actually.
yeah, I think Hamad was asking about people who are in their 40s and that stage of their careers, or any specific advice that you would give to them as being immigrants to Canada and restarting their careers versus people who are younger and at an earlier stage in their career development.
I think, yeah, there's probably internet issue at yeah, Samia's side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We'll wait
she'll
for
come
her to
back.
get reconnected.
So often what happens, Brand, that these people who come in with a lot of experience and they've worked, as Samia said, at senior positions,
Yeah,
they do not really know the importance of, like, of networking, for instance. Like, how do you network and identify those opportunities through networking
yeah.
in the Canadian market? And you are a networking guru, as I call you. What do you suggest to these people, and how they can actually ease their initial challenges by learning to network?
Yeah. But I think it's people. People like having a network, but they don't necessarily like networking. I think it's a bit of an awkwardness associated with it. I mean, it's really about building relationships and finding how to build relationships with people in a new country, and especially people who are mid career. They may be in a case where they may need to reconsider what industry you're in, what sector, what occupation they're in, and build these relationships outside of who they traditionally may have spoken to. And if they're looking to build their career for the next 5 years, is their network set up to support that? Are they connecting with people who potentially could help them advance their career? And I think another thing I've noticed is people are very focused on getting a job, and I don't blame them. I've gone through number of job transitions in the last decade, uh, but it's just you don't want to prejudge people in terms of how much they could help you because it is a very small world in this country, and there's so many people who are connected. So I think it's learning how to build rapport and taking some risks. That so many of the newcomers have taken such a huge risk, as Samia was just explaining to us, moving from Saudi Arabia to Canada. That there's also these smaller risks, micro risks that people need to take in reaching out to those people who they don't know and finding it if there's ways that they can help each other.
Yeah, we have Samia back.
Sorry about that.
Very good. Wonderful.
Trying to, just to bring you in the middle, right?
There we go.
So,
So we're talking about, I guess, people who are mid-career and
yeah.
40-year-olds and newcomers, and what suggestions you would have for people at that stage in their career.
Yes, but again, when you plan to immigrate to Canada, have a proper strategy. Do some research, look into your profession. How is the job market uh, according to your role, according to your industry, and everything is available online. Do some googling, do some research, and see how you can use your skills you have for the Canadian job market. Your role title might not be the same, but the job requirement maybe requires the same skill set that you have. Maybe they require the same expertise that you have. It's only a matter of targeting properly that you are planning to and you're interested in. So age, it doesn't matter. If you have the proper skills and expertise, Canada welcomes the skilled immigrants, the skilled workers. Your expertise, your knowledge. It's only a way of showcasing yourself properly. If you are just applying to job postings haphazardly without any planning, without a proper resume, um, it won't lead you anywhere. Networking is another thing. If you start networking, it will give you connections, referrals, right? Again, landing blindly and then applying to job markets blindly, and then because you've not like applying properly and without a plan or a strategy, people get fed up and they think, okay, this thing is not working, let's stick to whatever we are doing. At least it's a survival job, it's paying what we need, and okay, we are here for our kids future, so let's focus on them. So that mindset is will not lead you anywhere. So my focus is that, okay, once you're coming here, welcome to Canada. Canada is a land of opportunities, but you have to have a proper plan, a strategy to approach those opportunities. They won't come to you and offer you, this is the job that you need. You have to offer what you have, what are you bringing to the table, and how are you bringing that to the table. It's a proper way of approaching that.
Hmm.
So that is my suggestion always, and because of not proper planning and without going without a strategy, people get into end up in disappointment, and they keep on doing what they're doing, and then they same like advice they will give to other people, it's not worth it, don't come here, or it won't work for you, or so stay where you are. So
How
this
how
is
is
what
the how has the pandemic changed the advice that you've been giving to your clients?
pandemic, now it's getting over. It's almost the reopening time. The job market will be very, very fast paced and competitive, because during this pandemic, the people, they have invested in themselves. So many people lost their jobs. They pivoted, most of the people. And, the situation would be very, very much changed from, what we had before pandemic. There in the job market, people, they had time, they knew what's coming to this more digital world now, technology oriented. So what I see, people have been pivoted, they have upgraded their skills, and it's even though the jobs are coming back, the same as the competition is on the rise. So in this competitive market, you need to prepare yourself well. Having only the expertise or the skills is not enough. You need to showcase your skills, your expertise, and offer to the organizations what you can do for them. Approach them and offer them. That's how you are going to get into the market, and position yourself and progress in your field. That's
Uh,
what I would suggest.
I'll just ask one more question, then I'll have to jump off. But the hidden job market. There's been jobs that I've gotten over the years where I've actually met with the employer, unbeknownst to me, within a couple months, they then have subsequently posted a job, and because then I had, since I'd already met the hiring manager, it kind of helped me get a bit of a foot in the door. What advice do you provide around the hidden job market and networking and the job application process?
Yeah. Hidden job market is what you won't see, job advertisement, because networking for many people, their networking, their connections, their referrals is working. So people who are already networking, who have connections, who are already, into this field, and who are targeting their target organizations and networking with recruiters, they are obviously offered the job first. So I don't think there is a hidden market. The positions are always there, but the people who are trying hard in the proper direction with planning and strategy would get to know about these jobs firsthand. And this is how I think it's working.
I
And
think that
that's how the
networking piece is really, really
networking.
important here because
Yeah.
when you know someone, you have that kind of trust relationship with that person,
Yes.
and often, like for Canada, we have like large organizations, corporations, and then you have smaller organizations also. Family-owned businesses and stuff like that. And for an employer, the most important thing is that can you provide a solution? So if there's a problem, if you can offer a solution, if you have the expertise and the experience to offer the solution, uh, I personally feel that like smaller businesses, I'm part of Connecting GTA, for instance, which is uh, like 200 plus members, and they are like all small and medium businesses. They don't care where are you from. They would just take you if you are a solution provider, and
Yes.
that is a great stepping stone for you. So one of the things that I tell my clients is to stop looking for, or maybe just slow down on looking for jobs in like very large organizations. I mean, probably look at Kijiji because these small organizations post their jobs on Kijiji, for instance, and in a number of instances, these people actually get their first interview call pretty quickly. because hardly anybody looks at Kijiji for job
Right.
opportunities, right?
That's how it is. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
It comes back to the whole strategy that
yeah,
you're.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
want to go where everyone else is going? There are some benefits, but the odds are against you in terms of
yeah,
being
yeah,
one of 1,000, one of 2,000 applicants.
Yes.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Networking is really important. Again, volunteering is very valuable here in Canada. That's how I got my first job. And my second job was just a walk-in interview. I offered them my services. They tried me, and the very next day they asked for my resume and they offered me a
wow,
full-time role. I stick with that organization for 2 years. That's how my husband got a job. He to upgrade his skills. He was in the certification program,
mhm,
and the professional who was teaching them, got offered a role that and he was already not interested in that. He already accepted some other offer, and he offered that role to my husband. He said, "I see you are the kind of person that would fit in that role. So go ahead. I'll talk to the hiring manager. You appear in front of in my place, and let's see." And that was the fastest recruitment that I saw. He was in an interview in the morning, and late afternoon he got a call from the organization with an offer letter.
wow,
Yes.
So, Samia, there is
So
another fastest experience that we have
recruit.
today. For instance. So
Yes.
I had
amazing.
one of my clients had a job opening, and he sent me a message like yesterday, and I sent a message off to Samia because she does all the resume writing and stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't have anybody at that point in time, and there was an interesting requirement for that job. The job is in Mississauga, so they wanted someone to who is based in Mississauga, for instance. So I told Samia. Samia referred somebody to me, and this morning he got the job.
Yes.
oh, amazing.
It
He
just so
just
happened.
called. Yeah.
Networking again networking, because Samia
Absolutely.
knew that this person, and she had the confidence that
Yeah.
he would deliver. I knew Samia, so I had confidence that if she is recommending someone, it should be okay. And this
Awesome. Yeah.
guy who was hiring had confidence in me, and this guy was hired.
Yeah,
Uh,
Trust is the
confidence is really important. And for my first job, I mentioned a volunteer, and then second job, I just dropped my kids to school. And there was this a private school in front of their school, and I just walked in, with confidence. I told them I don't have resume with me, but this is. Do you have an open position? And the owner said yes. I said okay, I'm willing. And then the very next day, I started working there, and I worked there for 2 years. So it's all networking, confidence, have confidence in your abilities and your skills,
absolutely
and know how to showcase yourself. If you're
yeah,
not properly showcasing yourself, nobody knows what are you offering, what are
for
you
sure.
bringing to the table.
Well, Samia, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
I've
Brent.
got to run, but you're in very good hands with Hamat, and
I will.
we'll
Thank you.
catch up online after. So again,
Thank
thanks
you
so much
so
for
much.
joining us.
thanks.
Thank
Enjoy
you so
your
much for having me.
next webinar or
The
meeting,
next
whatever.
event.
We,
Okay.
we do
Yes,
so
we
many
will.
of these every day, right? So yeah, talk to you, Brent,
Thank you,
later
Samia.
on,
Thank you,
and
Thank
have
you
a
Hamat.
so
good
much.
evening.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
All right, Samia. So thank you very much again for
Thank you.
sharing interesting insights um, about the Canadian job market. And you and I keep seeing people who are looking for opportunities, and we help them. I mean, okay, this is our business too. I mean, you do
Yes.
resume writing, interview coaching. I do LinkedIn optimization and LinkedIn coaching. This is our business. But at the end of the day, the level of satisfaction is very high when we see our clients turn friends getting job opportunities. So one of the things that I keep discussing in this world called struggle, I find it very disturbing. I think I personally feel that if we come with the mindset of struggle, then the only thing we will see is struggle, and this is how the things work. What should be the strategy? I mean, we spoke about there has to be a strategy, but what are three things that you would suggest? Let's talk. Let's reverse the order. What are three things you suggest people not do when they land in Canada? And then we'll go to the three things they should do when they're in Canada. So, what are three things that you would strongly suggest they must not do in Canada to kind of ease their challenges.
Yes. Um, Again, first thing is that don't land here blindly. Um, yeah, don't land here blindly. You have everything in front of you. People are offering you help, career advice, guidance. Do some research first of all, and then once people come here, they start the survival jobs. Okay, for a while, it's okay if you have not, prepared yourself well before. And for a while, you can do it, but don't get too comfortable doing that. Once you get too comfortable, it's very hard to step out of that comfort zone and, go for something else. Don't come here, like, there is like people offering you help, guidance, you take their help. The mindset is very important. People come here with the mindset, okay, everybody goes and everybody struggles. This is not right for everyone, right? If you come here with a positive mindset and with the strategy, you will end up, receiving so many options and opportunities that you will be amazed. Um, Getting too comfortable in your survival jobs, first of all, and the mindset that you're coming here. And the third thing that I would say, people come here, they're very skilled, they're qualified, they have expertise. And, there is a difference in the job market, in your roles, in your designations. You might not get the same role and same level of expertise here, but you have to start at some point. So, for example, if I come here as a doctor and, I am offered the relevant fields. For example, there are many professionals, many doctors from my batch, from my college, who decided to go into the relevant fields, clinical research, and radiology. So, but they have this thing in their mind. This is not the doctor. We are not doctor here. We are not physicians, but they are doing good in the relevant fields. So keep take that thing out of your mind, that if only you will do some jobs, or that you get the same role or same designation, it won't happen. But there are a lot of other opportunities related to your skill set, your expertise. You have to just try upgrade your skills. If you need any experience here, do start volunteering, do some certifications if that can add, and properly approach the opportunities. you know People just sit and they start applying to open job position. They do that for 1 day, 2 days randomly, and then they reach a conclusion, okay, this thing is not working, let's just forget about the new jobs. This is not how it works. You
Yeah.
have to have a proper document to apply for, a proper resume, the CV you are bringing with you from countries like Pakistan, India, Middle East. It will not work here.
Hmm.
The CV is a very detailed document, your personal information. It won't work here. So you have to go what the job market is asking you and what are the requirements. And if you are not trying in the proper direction and then getting disappointment, it's no use, right? So try properly in the proper direction, use a proper document. Your CV is not workable here. Your resume is important. And that too, a resume that, when you're applying on a for a larger organization, they use the software to scan your resumes. They can do it manually. So your resume needs to be compatible with that software in order to get filtered and land in the hands of a hiring manager. That is really important. Your LinkedIn is profile is really, really important, your optimization. If you are just sitting here and using this as a job portal only and then applying randomly to the job positions, you won't end up anywhere, because most of the time your resume that you're uploading or the information that you're entering might be, not compatible with the software or the requirements they're looking for. Networking is really important. Start building relationships. That will help you a lot. Networking is a broader term, and then LinkedIn optimization, your ATS resume, that comes as a part of that process.
Yeah. I
Baby
was
steps
on
in
a
motion.
I was on a clubhouse yesterday, which was full of like new immigrants, and this HR guy who was a technical hiring expert of some sort. Uh, he narrated his story, and his first job that he got in Canada, that was after 8 9 months of like continuous, and it was like pandemic and everything. We need to account for that issue also. But he got it through networking on LinkedIn. And the beauty that so I actually enjoyed the whole conversation. It was long. It was at times boring too, but the way he narrated it, he did not ask for a job. So he did not sort a job when he started building connections. His strategy was phenomenal. He actually started talking to them that I'm new, I'm trying to learn, understand what the job market is like, and I would like to learn from you. And that would almost 50% of the time he got a phone call or a discovery call appointment with that person. And that was the starting point. And he was patient. So he was there, he was like working at Dollarama 4 or 5 hours a day just to kind of like make enough to survive. In fact, both husband and wife are working at the same Dollarama in different shifts, and he continued that relationship. And 8 9 months down the line, one of the connections he was talking with over LinkedIn offered him an opportunity, not a job at that point, but an opportunity with a recruitment company in Montreal, and they were in Toronto. And he literally took that opportunity right away because he thought, okay, why? I mean, for me, I'm a new immigrant. Whether I live in Toronto or I live in Montreal or I go to Vancouver, it does not make any difference to me.
Yeah.
Canada is a new country. Wherever I will live, I will make my living. Like, I'll make my home or whatever. And he took that brave decision and he moved. He is promoted now to the next level.
Awesome.
His wife is in also, she's a coder. She got a job there also. And
Awesome.
their strategy was to stay in that survival job for a short period of time and keep building that network which they did not have when they came in. People think they have network, like
Yes.
a lot of we have relatives, we have friends, but those relatives and friends are not relevant
Yeah.
anymore. What do you say about that? Like we hear a lot of time, okay, I have friends and family members, but how many times you have seen the family members helping them out in the career jobs?
Yeah, that's another thing that as when somebody comes from like they immigrate here and they have relatives, for example, or family here, right? What they get too comfortable taking their help, or the relatives they as out of courtesy or something else, they start helping them, and they get too comfortable. They don't learn how to go out, how to do documentation, and then ultimately search for a job. So they rely on their relatives or the family members also. They make them so comfortable, and telling them stories. Okay, this is a thing how it works here, because they have gone through the same experience. So they share their experience and kind of make them realize, okay, this is how it is, and you will end up doing the same. So don't bother, right? So this is another mindset that we need to change. Um, if your family is already here and you're coming, you're joining them, it's good to take their help for some extent, but not for everything. uh, for example, my sister-in-law and her family came as immigrants after we landed here, 4 years after we landed here. So what we did, we kind of told them, okay, this is how you take the bus, this is the stop, there you go from here, this is the loony, this is the toonie, this is how you'll pay the rent, and this is how you do your work. So that ended, like, we ended up like being so bad in front of rest of the family, because everybody realized, okay, they are not helping their sister, they're telling them to go out and do their work themselves. So we were kind of bad Canadian relatives already who are here. But our sole intention was to make them get used to how the life here in Canada, and so that they start making their health cards or their sin cards. So they go out and they get used to the culture, the norms, how things work here. If we would just make them, give them lift, or take them places, it would not do any good to them. That was our intention. But in other, the other side of the picture, because we were portrayed as very bad Canadian already in Canada, very proud members who won't help their new relatives. So this is one thing that you need to get over with.
That's the
You
real help. If you are helping someone
Yeah.
acclimatize with the local environment, that is the real help. Uh,
Yes.
I mean, I can tell my own, like, people really don't understand. I mean, it's a 360-degree shift when you come here. People don't really
More than
understand that.
double.
Yeah, and one more thing that I usually tell people is that there's so many immigrants in this country that if you're talking to someone, he or she would not know that you are new.
Yeah.
I mean, they would think that you've been here forever, right? There are so many South Asians, Chinese, Vietnamese, uh, Europeans. It's a country of immigrants. They would not know that you are new here, and they would not know that you need help. And that is an interesting part of your learning. How do you seek help if you don't know? How do you seek help? And once you seek help, once you know how to seek help, then the help will be there. I mean, I just tell you this like very today's example. So when we came here, my younger daughter had all the vaccinations, and because you're from Pakistan. I mean, we she was vaccinated. Both my daughters were vaccinated at Aga Khan. Uh, so everything was there. But I forgot to bring in their vaccination card. Now, what we have in that part of the world is a vaccination card which you have to keep with you, so that hospital knows that they have been vaccinated. They have a record, but often they don't. You just bring that card and that's it. In here, all the records are kept by the municipality. For instance, our Durham municipality will keep all the records. So we came in and we got one notice, we don't have record, get her vaccinated. Okay, we took her at the age of 15, she got all her vaccinations, which she had already gotten, and she was very upset. 3, 4 weeks ago, we got another notice. So she's missing one vaccination. There was one vaccination that she was missing. So we took her back and she got that shot also. And then the clinic said, okay, just inform the municipality and they will update the record. So I tried to update it online and I just couldn't figure it out how to do it. So I called them, and there was a voice note, a voice message. You can leave a message and we'll call you back in 4 days. So I left a message with thinking, okay, they're going to call me after 4 days. Literally after almost an hour and a half, I got a call from the nurse, and she online got everything updated. So I mean, the system is there. Um, it's just that we need to know how to use the system. and
Yes.
and people are very helpful. Otherwise, immigrants are helpful, local Canadians are helpful. We really need to kind of build that knowledge about the system. And like buses, I mean, I feel guilty of myself that I did not use buses that often here because I never needed to. uh, but whenever there is an opportunity, I mean, in COVID, of course, there was a safety concern. I would use. So if I have to go to Toronto, I would just go to the station rather than taking my car and parking it there.
Yeah.
Take a bus, go there, go train and go to Toronto, come back. I mean, okay, you end up spending 22, 30, $23, but there is no hassle about where to find parking in
Yes.
Toronto,
Yes.
driving hassle and everything. So we need to learn all that. And my own story about like driving on highway for a one. So
Yeah.
initially, and I've been a driver. I don't know when I started. I think probably I learned driving at the age of 18.
All your life almost.
Yeah. But just merging on 401, I would get sweating in my hand. Believe me, because I never drove at that speed, and like the traffic that is coming at 100, and
Yeah.
merging. But then I realized
It's safe.
the learning is that we all drive safely. So the guy who is behind
Yes.
me, he if he's in the right lane, he knows that people are merging in this lane, so he won't be that fast. And rest of the people will be in the second and the third and the fourth lane. As soon as I kind of gained that confidence, I was able to merge very nicely in at 401. But these are things that nobody teaches you. Yeah,
Yes.
you have to
Yes.
learn it by doing it.
By doing it, definitely. Yeah, we started the same way. We didn't have any relatives, any friends when we arrived Canada with our 1 year old. And people kept on meeting people randomly here and there, some cab drivers, some a convenience store operator, and they helped, they kept on, guiding us. And that's how we learned. And then we kind of, we did not buy our car for first 2 months. We we could, but we did not, and we used buses, we would walk in, and we arrived in February. So on
Yes,
those iced sidewalks, and with the stroller in front
yeah,
of us, and a baby all covered in double blankets. But that we learned a lot. That's when, more relatives, they come here. We always tell them, you need to be out there, do yourself, get out, see how it works, just take buses, walks, and then you will learn. Go to the offices, do your documentation yourself. If we, spoon feed you everything, you won't be able to learn.
yeah,
And also we share our experiences, the things we wished that we knew before, or when we landed here, we always, we that's how I started with this career advice and all, because I shared my experience, I shared how we ended up here and how you could avoid the situation by learning from our experiences. And then,
absolutely,
at that point, mostly relatives, and they kind of ignore your advice. They think there is something they could not do it, so they are advising us the same. That's the mindset here. But uh, I we always shared our experiences. If you could learn from our experiences, that will be a very happy thing to do for from my side. So that's
absolutely.
that's how I ended up career
Question,
advice.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have a question. There's something with the StreamYard today, so I'm not getting all the questions. So I've gone online, and the question is asked by a fresh graduate. He is an structural design engineer, 2020 graduate. The question is, those who graduated during the peak pandemic, I myself targeted and even approached so many employers, but nothing worked. Please, can you give me some tips and advice? Thanks. His name is Umar Jamil, and when so what I told him, or I typed the comment, but we will take your expert advice. I said, unless we don't know your job search strategy, it will not be fair to say anything. But let me ask this question online. So, what are your like
I
couple
can't
of things
see
that
the
you should really be looking at?
Yeah, I can see the question, but he the person graduated during pandemic, right? And they're struggling to find a job. So I would advise, first of all, don't just sit still. You have graduated, utilize that time. At the same time, when you are doing a job search, try to see, what else you can add to your skill set. Start volunteering, maybe approach the organization who accept, who will offer a job related to your skill set in the near future. Start networking. Again, it's important. Start networking, approach the targeted organizations, and then start, conversating with them. See what they are. Don't, this is another mindset. Don't see what they can give you, they're offering you. See what you can bring to the table, what value you can add to them. So showcase that. And good organization, they were always looking for internship, they're always looking for fresh graduates to hire and to train. And that's how good organizations work. They hire people, they train according to their skills and everything. So keep on, in the proper direction. Use proper pathway. Network, start networking, make your documents that are acceptable, your skills, upgrade your skills, starting from your interview skills, your resume, everything. And then targeted approach the organization that you think will, they suit your skill set, or you can add value to them and they can benefit from your expertise. So targeted networking is another thing. It will take time to build, connection and trust and that level of rapport, but you can always start doing that.
So, Samia, can you see the screen now?
Yes, yes,
Okay, now you can see. I mean, this is what we always talk. I mean, there is no branding. I mean, this picture does not mean anything to anyone.
yeah,
He has hardly any keywords. Uh, I mean, he's just cut and paste from about. I mean, from his resume. It's so clumsy. You can see how clumsy that is,
yeah.
and very low follower base or connection base, and hardly any activity. So this is, to me, as someone who does LinkedIn profile stuff. I think his LinkedIn is just not going to help him at all.
There is another mindset, we when we are searching for a job, we see what they can offer us, what's in
Yeah.
there for us. No, it's the other way around. What are you offering them? What are you bringing to the table? Why they should hire you? Why I should work for them comes next. but why they should hire you comes first. You have to position yourself, portray yourself, showcase yourself, your targeted expertise and targeted skills for the position you're looking forward to. They're not interested in your overall achievements. What have you done in your past 10, 20 years? What from those 10, 20 years, what are you bringing for them? And what are you doing to continuously upgrade yourself, right? And again, don't underestimate the power of LinkedIn. I was on LinkedIn, I think from 2017 or 2018. I only used it to post to new job postings when I was working in education field, right? But I started being active on LinkedIn only this January. You won't believe it. Only this January, I started with, I think, one follower or zero. I don't recall. And today I crossed 5,000 followers. The business leads is another aspect of that, and the value I added to myself is tremendous. So start networking. If you are looking for jobs, and they're not coming to you, you go to them.
Yeah.
You showcase yourself. You put your skills in your hand and you offer them. Okay, this is what I'm capable of, and this is what I can do for you. Give me a chance. And when you are enthusiastic and you're ambitious enough, they can see. And
And
you
this
never know.
gentleman,
Your opportunity is just waiting.
oh yeah, and this gentleman, a young fellow, is a graduate from Kennedy University, which is one
Yeah,
of the good universities. So you rightly said, you have to present yourself as a solution provider. I can fix this.
yeah,
Once you say, I can fix
definitely.
this for you, and every organization has these problems. You
Yeah,
need to know these problems, and when you go there and say, okay, I can fix it. And again, with this gentleman Umar, I would suggest you go to smaller organizations. Don't count on large organizations. Once you have started working, once you have got your your feet in, then you will know how to handle the job market. How do you uh, kind of increase your visibility and work towards your next level. So I know this discussion can go on forever, Samia. It's fascinating to have you in the show,
likewise.
and I'm sure people who will watch it later on. This show usually, people watch it later on, pre-recorded. Uh, they will learn a lot as far as their settling down process in Canada is concerned, and job market is one of the key things that people are really interested in. And really, whatever you may see on YouTube videos and whatever you read on internet, when you come here, things are very different.
Yes,
Uh,
they are.
and people need to really come with a learning mindset. When you come here with a learning mindset, then you
Learning,
will
yes.
learn things, and then you pivot also. So I mean, if your thinking process is in cast in concrete, then perhaps Canada is not the ideal market for you. I've seen people who have come in with finance degrees and stuff, and they pivoted. They are doing
Yeah.
something else. They're running their consultancy, for instance. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
We really value you and your time and your expertise, and hopefully we will invite you again in the future
It would be a
to
pleasure.
share
Thank
more
you.
experiences with the audience that we have. And you have a very good evening.
Thank you. Same. Good
Thank you
evening.
very much.
Thank you so much.
So, friends, thank you very much. Such a pleasure to have Samia today. I know she's very, very busy, and often what I say is she posts her LinkedIn posts at like 2 a.m. in the morning, and so with her activities and the occupancy, she was able to spare her 1 hour for the audience that we have, and hopefully you all had learned few things that are really, really important to sail through nicely in the Canadian job market. If you're a newcomer or in the waiting, Samia is a person to connect with for your resume needs. This is couple of things you have to invest. I mean, do not buy expensive iPhones, do not buy expensive stuff. Invest into yourself. If you invest into yourself, that investment will pay off. With that, Hamas Sadiqi signing off. 11th show, Reinventing Your Careers in Canada. We'll come back after 2 weeks, not the following, but after that Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, keep watching. Thank you very much.